Pozdrav narode, welcome everyone, welcome back to another tutorial. This time we are doing League Selection English players. Ovaj put radimo League Selection English players. We have bunch of them as well, like Italians, 11 you can draw. This time I didn't draw anyone because I already have most of them. I only don't have Guardiol, and honestly spinning for just one player, we saw in the previous video how that panned out, so I'm going to probably skip this spinning. Kao što vidite imamo dosta igrača, 11 može opet da se izvuče. Zanimljiva je grupa, ali iskreno jedinog igrača kojeg nemam je Guardiol i da ne bi sada vrteo samo za njega, znamo kako je to ispalo sa Kvaratskhelijom, jednostavno odlučit ću da preskočim čitav ovaj pack i da samo odradim klasičan review. When it comes to Guardiol, we are going already jumping in with him. He is a decent build-up player. He can play on the left back as well, and honestly I will just use him as a center back because of the height that he has and the speed and acceleration that he has, because if you use him on the fullback then you need to sacrifice defense. We don't want to do that. Yeah, we are going to only build him as a build-up player center. Kao što vidite, Guardiol je sasvim solidan štoper i kao štopera ćemo ga i napraviti. Iako može da igra po levom boku kao levi back, jednostavno puno će se žrtvovati defensive statova, tako da ja bi jednostavno samo odradio ga kao build-upa i sa tim bi bio zadovoljan. Znači bukvalno ne bi ništa menjao drastično, jer Guardiol kao štoper je sasvim brutalan igrač. The downside is form that he has. It's B. From the skill set he has heading, weighted pass, pinpoint crossing, long throw, man marking, interception, blocker, area superiority, acrobatic clearance and fighting spirit, which is perfect. Znači što se tiče skillova ima sve bitne skillove koje treba da ima jedan štoper i još neke bonuse, tako da savršen je po tom pitanju. Jedino što nije savršeno je to što je standardna forma. Ali da ne dužimo, sad ćemo da vidite kako sam ja to uradio što se tiče samih ocena. As you can see now, I put 4 on dexterity, 4 on lower body so he can have a little bit speed and acceleration. I put 8 on aerial so he had 93 jumping, heading is 83 which is decent, and 13 on defending. 85 defensive awareness, but everything else, defensive engagement, tackling and aggression. If you're going to put him on the sides as a center back, this is going to be perfect. Ako ćete igrati kao štopera i to po bokovima, ovo je ovako savršen jedan build za njega. 4 dexterity, 4 lower body, 8 strength, 13 defending i to je to otprilike. Sve ćete dobiti još plus 2 boost. You are going to get plus 2 boost on every start. So overall, this is how you should build Guardiol with boost. I believe he will go much higher, plus 2 on everything. So next up we have Jadon Sancho. I'm not fan of how they started Sancho, but lack a little bit of speed, lack of acceleration. He has decent dribbling, low pass is good, finishing is terrible, kicking power is even worse, stamina is almost, I don't know, missing, inconsistent form. Overall, I wouldn't recommend Sancho to be in your team, but if you get him by the spinning, my condolences to you. I'm going to show you how you should most utilize his training to be decent, at least. Scissor feint, double touch, flip flap, cut turn, soul control, long range curl, heel trick, one touch pass, pinpoint crossing, outside curl. Decent mix of dribbling and passing, but man, no. Kao što vidite, Sancho je bukvalno niti smrdi niti miriše. Solidan dribbling, ok, ajde ima neki pas, brzinu su mu ubili, šut su mu unakazili, staminu su mu isto unakazili, inconsistent form, tako da ako ga izvučete, moje saučešće, jer jednostavno igrač, znači bukvalno propali 100 coin. Što se tiče player skillsa, scissor feint, double touch, flip flap, cut turn, soul control, long range curl, heel trick, one touch pass, pinpoint crossing, outside curl. Savršena kombinacija driblinga i passinga. Što se tiče skillova, možete vi tu nešto da dodate, ali ništa drastično što može da ga nešto vine u visine i da ga drastično promeni, da on kao bude neki bolji mnogo igrač. Što se tiče rasporeda samih skillova, I went 9 for shooting. I didn't touch passing because 75 passing is decent. 9 for shooting, 6 for dribbling, so he can have that dribble and ball control a little bit better. 4 on dexterity because, well, I need to increase his offensive awareness a little bit. 11 on speed, so I can increase the kicking power so he can be able to shoot the fucking ball. Znači ovako je nešto što sam ja uradio što se tiče builda Sanchoa, ovo je nešto da pokušam da pomognem, ali jednostavno ne može da se više od ovoga izvući. Znači 9 na shooting, da taj finishing mu se poveća, passing nisam ni takao, dribbling sam povećao za 6, 4 na dexterity i 11 na lower body da bi dobio jačinu u tom šutu, stamina je 80 što je otprilike, ajde sad malo bolja varijanta, ali i dalje nije savršeni, tako da jebi ga, to je što je. Next we have Bissouma, which is all around good box-to-box center. Even though he's defensive midfielder, I would put him as a center midfielder because, and then I would create him as a defensive center midfielder mostly because of defensive traits that he has. Yeah, this Bissouma is actually a good to have. I wouldn't say that it's bad if you get him from the spins. When it comes to skill set, he lacks them a lot, so you need to input man marking and blocking as a skill set, maybe some traits for the passing as well when it comes to him. But overall, he can be a decent backup for Division 1 plays when some of your main players are not in form. When it comes of the build, this is how I did him. 1 on shooting, because, well, as I stated, I'm going to set him at center. 6 on passing, so the pass could be good. 4 on dribbling, 6 on dexterity, so he can have acceleration. 8 on lower body, so he can have speed and stamina, because that is a crucial thing for the box-to-box midfielders. Aerial 9, so he can have physical contact to take the ball, and 6 on defending. As I stated, I will build him as a center midfielder defensive, and I would actually pair him in the capabilities of Pedri, who is a more offensive kind of player, and him to be defensive kind of player. That's kind of combinations, or in diamond formation, or I don't know, whatever you prefer, but yeah, Bissouma would be my defensive kind of midfield in the mix. Što se tiče ocena, evo ovako sam mu dao 1 na shooting, zato što neće biti nešto previše ofanzivan i neće, njegova je bukvalno defanzivna uloga, iako je box to box. 6 passing, da može te pasove malo da razigra. 4 dribbling, da ima neku kontrolu lopte. 6 dexterity, da ima neko ubrzanje prilikom vijanja lopte i vijanja igrača. 8 da ima brzinu i da ima kicking power što se tiče šuta u slučaju da imate otvoreni prostor da možete da opalite prangiju. I 9 aerial da ima jačinu oduzimanja lopte i 6 na defending da bude defanzivno orijentisan. Kombinaciju koju bi ja ga ubacivo je u diamond formaciji ili ako igrate već sa 2 centralna vezna igrača, Pedri koji je malo ofanzivniji i Bissouma koji je defanzivniji, ili šta imate već Modrića koji će da razigrava bilo koji imate ofanzivnijeg CMF-a. Bissouma je dobar kao protiv teg da jednostavno defanzivno odradi svoje zadatke. Next up we have Nicholas Jackson. Honestly, I seen better goal poachers than this. I tried to create him as a goal poacher, but he lacks a lot of traits to be good. He can be a decent backup, honestly, and for the team events he will be good, but for Division 1 not so much. Maybe as a joker coming from the bench, yes, but honestly as a first team player, no. Scissor feint, cut turn, soul control and acrobatic finishing. Lacks attacking capabilities, long range, first time shooting, knuckle shot, any kind of attacking traits he lacks. Znači što se tiče Nicholas Jacksona, jednostavno on jeste goal poacher, ali ne znam, jako su ga osiromašili što se tiče ocena. Pokušao sam nešto da izvučem maksimalno da to kao na nešto liči, ali jednostavno on je igrač koji će kao ući vam sa klupe kao joker. Dovoljno da napravi kao tu neku razliku u drugom poluvremenu. Dobar je za eventove i za tako da je neke tematske utakmice. Inače ovako da bude kao prvi igrač u prvom timu nema teorije. Znači s ovim igračem nema teorije da vi išta možete da uradite što se toga tiče. Što se tiče traitova, scissor, feint, cut, turn, sole control, acrobatic finishing. Znači bukvalno nema ništa, klot igrač, znači fali mu i knuckle shot i first time shot, sve što je ofanzivno bukvalno ovom igraču fali, tako da to morate da dodate. Jako ogoljen jedan igrač, po meni uopšte ne sviđa mi se. And this is how I did the build. This is how I actually did the build. 7 on finishing, so he can have finish 85. 3 on passing, so he can actually pass the ball. 6 on dribbling, so he can have some kind of control of the ball when he's running. 10 on dexterity, so he can have acceleration and offensive awareness at least. 7 on the speed, so he can have some kind of kicking power in him. 1 area, maximum that I can get from him. Znači ovo je bukvalno maksimum jedan koji sam mogu da izvučem. 7 shooting, 3 passing, 6 dexterity, 6 dribbling, 10 dexterity, 7 lower body i 1 na strength i to je to. Znači bukvalno jako ogoljen, jako nezahvalan igrač za sredinu. Next up we have another goal poacher, Avoini, and this guy is slightly better when it comes to the offensive prowess, but again the same principle applies. He is backup player and good for the events, and that's it. Znači bukvalno isto goal poacher, isto ogoljen igrač kao i Nicholas Jackson, malo je za nijansu kao bolji u ofanzivi. Dobar je kao backup i za tematske evente i to je to. When it comes to skill set, he has much larger first time shot, rising shot, soul control, sombrero, penalty specialist, gamemanship, track backs, super sub and fighting spirit. Better player skills he has than Nicholas Jackson, so this guy is much better to have than him. Znači bolje skillove ima nego Nicholas Jackson, nije toliko ogoljen po tom pitanju. Dalje ima super sub, znači tako da će po tom pitanju moći da vam jako koristi i bit će vam zahvalan igrač što se toga tiče. When it comes to allocating the training experience, this is how I went with him as well. Shooting 9, so he can have 89 finishing. Passing 4, so he can have the passing abilities. Dribbling 5, so he can control that. 9 dexterity, so he can have offensive awareness 85. 7 lower body, so he can have at least some kind of kicking power. But yeah, this guy will outpace your opponent's defenders and score the goals for you as a super sub. Znači bukvalno ovako sam uradio. Znači 9 shooting, 4 passing, 5 dribbling, 9 dexterity, 7 lower body. Jednostavno super sub je, uđe, pretrči, da go, završili ste priču. I to mu je jedina karakteristika i jedina svrha ovog igrača. When it comes to O'Shea, decent destroyer, good for Division 2 teams, and decent backup. I wouldn't use him in the Division 1 plays, and also good for the events. Well, he's missing man marking and blocking from the sliding tackle, from the trait skills as a defender, but you can obviously add them. He would be a decent backup. Znači što se tiče O'Shea, sasvim zadovoljavajući backup, odličan igrač za diviziju 2, dobar kao varijanta backupa, u diviziji 1 ne može da igra prvu diviziju, nije to Guardiol. Jednostavno sasvim solidan, što se tiče skillova, fali mu man marking, blocking i sliding tackle, ali to možete da dodate. When it comes to his traits, I would develop him like this. 4 on dexterity, so he can have acceleration. 87 defensive awareness I would put, so 15 on defending, 4 on aerial and 4 on lower body. And he would be a decent on that, with that stats. Znači što se tiče svega dodao bi 4 dexterity, 4 lower body, 4 aerial i 15 na defending. I sasvim dobijete nekog pristojnog štopera koji može da odradi posao i nećete imati apsolutno nikakvih problema. Jedino što ne može da izdrži jedno celo poluvreme, tako da dobar je što se tiče kao backup. Declan Rice, he is good. I don't have anything bad to say. He is also the player that works in this pack. When it comes to him, he is a destroyer defensive midfielder. If you put him as a center midfielder, you're not going to regret it. If you put him as a center back, you will not regret it. But as a defensive midfielder, he will do exceptional job for you. He will absolutely catch every opponent, destroy every ball. He has weighted pass, low lofted pass, penalty specialist, man marking, interception, sliding tackle, captaincy, fighting spirit. lacks only blocking from defensive traits and you can add. Što se tiče Declan Rice-a, znači bukvalno sasvim brutalan jedan destroyer kao CMF, kao defensive midfielder i kao štoper. Gde god ga postavite hapsit će protivnike, tako da tu nema šta da se uopšte pita i dovodi u pitanje njegova sposobnost. Što se tiče skillova, weighted pass, low lofted pass, penalty specialist, man marking, interception, sliding tackle, captaincy, fighting spirit. Fali mu blocking, to možete da dodate i onda će biti jednostavno potpunjen igrač. When it comes to training allocation, this is how I went with him. I put first shooting on 3, so he can have at least a little bit of shot if the ball deflects to him. 4 on passing, so the passing is great with him. 2 on dribbling, so he can have the control of the ball. 10 on dexterity, so he can have the speed and opponents are not going to outpace him that much. Lower body 9, so he can have speed and kicking power and stamina as well. Aerial 5, so he can have the strength to take the ball, and defensive I put 4 on him, so he can have defensive awareness 80, and he will be a perfect defensive midfielder for you. Znači što se tiče samih experience poena, 3 na shooting, 4 na passing, 2 dribbling, 10 dexterity, 9 lower body, 5 aerial i 4 defending. I to je ono što bi ja tako uradio. Jednostavno, bukvalno bude zver u sredini terena, sve hapsi, sve zatvara i to je to što se tiče njega. Justin Kluivert is a roaming flank, and honestly, even though the stats doesn't say that much, but he is much better than Sancho. And actually, with him, you will not regret. The only problem is that his form is inconsistent, and that's the downside. Everything else is quite okay. When it comes to the skill set, double touch, flip flap, cut turn, scotch move, soul control, long range curl, shooting, pinpoint crossing, outside curl, and gamemanship. Weighted pass and one touch pass is some stuff that you need to put on him, but everything else is quite decent to control. Što se tiče samog Kluiverta, ja bolje urađen igrač nego Sancho. Jedini isti problem koji ima je inconsistent form, tako da tu je mala jebada. Sve ostalo je sasvim ono što može da se koristi i može da se uopšte nešto uradi sa ovim igračem. Kada su u pitanju skill setovi, double touch, flip flap, cut turn, scotch move, soul control, long range curl, long range shooting, pinpoint crossing, outside curl and gamemanship. Znači bukvalno sve ima što je potrebno za driblinge, fali mu one touch pass i weighted pass da bi malo kao bio bolji nešto, ali ovako generalno može da odradi posao. When it comes to his traits, how I developed them is like this: 5 on shooting, so he can have at least some kind of finishing. 9 on passing, so those lofted balls are actually quite good. 5 on dribbling, so he can have the control of the ball when he is in fully speed. 11 dexterity, so he can have offensive awareness. 6 on lower body, so he can have the kicking power. And that's it. That's how I would actually develop him. Znači ovako bi uradio nešto: 5 na shooting, 9 na passing, 5 na dribbling, 11 na dexterity i 6 lower body. I to je to. Znači što se tiče njega, ne bi tu ništa pretjerano radio, jer jednostavno nije igrač koji će igrati prvu polovinu i ne treba se puno opterećivati sa njim. Next up we have Tete, who is defensive fullback and actually surprisingly quite good. So you will not that much regret if you have him from this pack. When it comes to skill sets, pinpoint crossing, man marking, interception, missing blocking. Što se tiče Tetea kao defensivni fullback, tu nećete puno pogrešiti, sasvim je zadovoljavajuć, nema nekih pretjeranih zamjerki što se tiče njega. Pinpoint crossing, man marking, interception, fali blocking i možda fighting spirit i to je to. When it comes to his traits, I would do something like this: 6 on passing, 4 on dribbling, so he can control the ball, 8 on dexterity, so he can have acceleration, 6 on lower body, so he can have speed, 7 on strength, so he can have the physical contact to take the ball, and 7 on defending, so he can have increased defensive stats. And this is how you put him as a defensive fullback. Znači ovako bi nešto radio kao što se tiče defensivnog backa: 6 passing, 4 dribbling, 8 dexterity, 6 lower body, 7 strength i 7 defending, i to je to što bi uradio što se tiče njega. Next up we have Areola, attacking goalkeeper. As offensive goalkeeper, we have that as a name. Now it's attacking goalkeeper, but okay, Konami. Decent to start with, good backup choice, not your first division type of goalkeeper, good for events, and that's it. Znači, sasvim zadovoljavajući golman, dobar je za diviziju 1, backup za diviziju 1, diviziju 2, dobar je najviše za eventove, ne da bude prvi tim golman, tako da jednostavno to je to. When it comes to skill set, penalty saver, long throw and long punt, low punt, znači ima long throw, ima penalty saver i low punt što se tiče skillova, tako da je ono otprilike zadovoljavajući. When it comes to how should you develop him, 9 on goalkeeping 1, 9 on goalkeeping 2, and 9 on goalkeeping 3, and 1 on aerial, and that's it. This is the best combination that you can get from him. That he has reflexes, that he has reaching and goalkeeping awareness, and height of the jump. Znači ovo je nešto što najbolje može da se izvuče. 9, 9, 9 i 1 na aerial. When it comes to the Jong, he's whole player, and I would actually play him as advanced midfielder, even though he has speed and can play on the sides, but as advanced midfielder he would be much better. And surprisingly he is good. He's even decent backup for Division 1. I don't know why they put him as a 4-star, but yeah, he is much better than Sancho and Kluivert, and also a lot of guys in this pack, even though this guy is 4-star. Znači, bukvalno Chong je IMF whole player, ja bi ga tu držao najviše kao na IMF-u i tako bi ga i buildovao, iako možda igra po krilima, bolji od Sancha, bolji od Kluiverta, bolji od dosta tih igrača u ovome peku, iako ima 4 zvezde. Dobar je backup za diviziju 1, može da bude uvek u eventima, tako da jako deluje mi da će biti zahvalan igrač i da je to jedan od onih igrača koji ono u fazonu ne znate kako, ali brutalno radi. He is one of those type of the players you don't know how, but he is doing the job. That's kind of player that he is. When it comes to allocation of the points and everything, I would go like this. 3 on shooting, so he can have some kind of finishing, especially with curls. 9 on passing, because he's advanced midfielder, he needs to put the plays on. 6 on dribbling to control the ball. 8 on dexterity, so he can have offensive awareness. 8 on dexterity, so he can have the kicking power at least, and speed as well. And lower body 9, and also 1 on aerial strength. And this is how I would develop him. Znači što se tiče Chonga ovako bi išao 3, 9, 6, 8, 9, 1 i dobili biste nekakvog sasvim pristojnog whole playera koji bi mogao da se ubacuje u napad, ima neku kao završnicu i može da kreira napade uvek. Tako da to je to što se tiče samog Chonga. Overall guys, from this pack I would actually advise Hidden Talent Chong on the 5th place, on the 4th place Tete, on the 3rd place is Bissouma, then comes Rice, then comes Guardiola. Those actually 5 players I would actually recommend from this pack. The rest of them, this guy could be 6th player that I would recommend, but only him. The rest of them actually doesn't do shit to your team. They will never improve your team drastically. They will never do anything for you. So yeah, and also most of those players are not going to be that much in form. So these guys that I recommended are the best. Znači što se tiče igrača koje bi ja preporučio, Chong, Tete, Bissouma, Guardiola, Rice i eventualno ovaj Avonoji, i to je to. Znači ostalo je škart koji jednostavno ne može ništa da doprinese vašim timovima, eventualno za evente, i to je to. Znači ničemu ne služe, pogotovo što ti većina igrača neće biti u formi i jednostavno to nadam se da ih nećete dobiti. So guys, thank you for watching, thank you for being a lovely audience, like, share, subscribe, and we will see each other in the next video. Hvala što ste gledali, hvala što ste bili divna publika, like, share, subscribe i mi se vidimo već u sljedećoj prilici. Pozdrav!